Your boy AD back for the video. 93 video opening with Naruto was hajime's reincarnation. So yeah, all with Naruto was just hajime because it's basically gonna be hajime to be honest. But yeah. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. Will enjoy this series as much as you have done the previous ones. And yes, I do plan to continue this series until it's done, as someone did request that, and I've been putting it off for a while now, so I kind of want to just finish it now so I don't forget about it or anything. And hopefully that person enjoys it and isn't like disappointed in what I've done or anything like that, and like lives us to expectation and so on. And yeah, and I also do plan to do another series, which is with Naruto was Ainz reincarnation. With Naruto was Ainz but cursed by God, basically. So yeah, that one will also be going until it's done. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy that one as well. And I did plan to make this a fan fiction for like a while, which was kind of why I hadn't done it earlier, but I didn't really stick to it, to be honest, because the second season kind of threw me off for a bit and stuff like that. So yeah, and no, sadly I haven't read the manga, so I don't know like his full abilities. I just know that he's supposed to be like super OP in the chapter or whatever, but I don't know any of his abilities in there, so I'm not really gonna act like I know any of them because I didn't really. Yeah, I don't really know any of his abilities from the manga, so I'm not even gonna be like, I'm gonna be making 7 labyrinths in this, and they're gonna have like the abilities from season 1 from the labyrinth there, and maybe I might add the season 2 one, but probably not. I'm just gonna give other abilities basically from them, so to match the people that'll be with Naruto and Naruto himself. So yeah, if you guys are like, yeah, if you guys don't want that, then I don't know. But yeah, anyways, without further ado, let's get this video started. Naruto, the God-slaying Demon King. Chapter 1: Betrayal and Learning to Hate. On Earth, there has always been 7 continents. Unlike what most people believe, as most believe that there were 6 or just 1. The people known as the ninjas all went to an isolated continent and had to put a barrier on the continent, as the Sage of Six Paths basically made a barrier on one continent, which was the Elemental Nation basically. So with the ninjas in isolation, they did not evolve with the rest of the world, and so did not know of the events that took place. In the 100 years, the world had been turned upside down. 3 gods that ruled the world, known as Kami, Yami, and Shinigami, were all dethroned by 3 other false gods. They were nothing but false gods. After dethroning the original gods, they created a powerful being called Mavericks. They were created to serve the false god, but then they realized the false gods were greedy, and they had no real plans after taking over the world, and that they were just not trying to do good things in general. So the Maverick revolted and tried to free the true gods, but they failed and were forced to separate, to basically spread apart all over the 7 continents and create a labyrinth each. Each one of the continents contained 1 labyrinth, making 7 in total. And the last one used their power to pick the champion who get their powers and kill. Who would get the powers of the 7 labyrinths and kill the false gods. Meanwhile, in Mount Miyoboku, as the Mavericks powers went to pick the champion. Gamamuru, the elder toads of the Toad Summit, was having a dream. The sight in front of him was split in half. He was seeing 2 different things from each eye. One on the left eye was a shadowy figure who seemed to be shining, and the people of the world were standing behind him, cheering on like he was a god. He, as if he cheers, pray the child of prophecy. Then there was a massive flash and it revealed a peaceful world, and the whole elemental nation was a massive empire with the same shadowy figure sitting on the throne. Then another shadowy figure came into the room. So, dear, you finally made it. You accomplished your dream, and you brought peace to the world. So, yes, now we can create our heir. Yes, let's do so. The second shadowy figure seemed to be extremely happy, and the world as well. Meanwhile, on the right eye, the shadowy figure was standing, but instead of having the world behind him and cheering him on, were a small group of people behind him, all of them being women and a child, but they all felt and looked weird as they weren't human, including the men. But it also felt like he was human at the same time. They were standing on a mountain, looking down at the army charging towards them, and they started to attack them. A black and red flash happened, and the figure stood on and with a group of females. The male was sitting down with all the women around him, except for the small one who appeared to be their child. Are you excited? You're finally going to have a new brother and sister. Yes, Daddy, I can't wait. As this world would fucking hell. As this world was in peace, but something was wrong. There were only 7 continents, not 6, like they should have been. Then the 3 figures appeared. So you came, Kami, Yami, and Shinigami. Yes, of course we came. If we weren't going to come, we wouldn't have given you that blessing. With that, both worlds vanished as Grandmaru woke up from his dream. The child of prophecy was all he said before he started to see his illusion of Before he started to see the illusion of a red-headed woman and a blonde-headed man with a baby in their hands. Then he saw the same baby standing in front of Kami, Yami, and Shinigami. You are the child of prophecy, and you shall have a blessing. Grandmaru then realized something and woke up. For real this time. Time skip. Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki, they had just gotten married and were on their honeymoon, so they were doing it like rabbits. Minato and her went for 3 rounds, and not long after, Kushina found out that she was pregnant. But instead of just one child like there was in Gamaru's dream, she was having triplets. As Kushina got pregnant, a powerful and ancient power came into her womb and entered one of the child's body, choosing the child as the champion of the Mavericks. Time skip. 9 months later, Kushina had given birth to the... Let me sure I'm actually recording this. Alright. Kushina had given birth... Kushina had given birth to the triplets with 2 boys and 1 girl. The girl was like a young version of herself. She named her after her ancestor Mito. Then it was the youngest child. He looked like a younger Minato, and he named him Minma. But the last child was completely different. Instead of taking after his mom or dad, even any ancestors like Mito or anyone from the Uzumaki clan or Namikaze clan in general, he looked completely different. His body shape, his different eyes, different hair, different facial features, everything was completely different. He has brownish hair and eyes, looked nothing like his mom and or dad or even siblings. With those being said, Minato and Kushina made a choice to seal the 9 tails in the quote unquote random child. that they named Naruto. Wait, hold up. No, sorry. I made a bit of a mistake there. They basically seal the Nine Tails in Mito, but they basically fucking hell. Like they basically put the soul in Naruto, so they're kind of blaming it on him, kind of. But they only gave Naruto the soul with Mito getting the powers, so yeah. Anyways, and yes, they basically call Naruto a random child because they don't really consider him as a child anymore. I mean, not a child. They don't consider him as their child. So yeah. Yeah. With that being said, they still the fox who was destroying the village, but then the third Hokage stepped in and did the sealing, summoning the Shinigami, or what they thought was the Shinigami. But in truth, this was just a skin, a coat that the real Shinigami once wore before being dethroned and sealed away with Kami and Yami. Now the coat was a puppet for the false god. However, what the false god did not know was that it had a mind of its own and smiled, seeing Naruto, knowing who he really was. The small smile that was in the Shinigami, quote-unquote Shinigami's face, looked more like terrifying evil smirk that promised nothing but pure death and suffering. And so the Shinigami, in quotation mark, took Hiruzen's soul and sealed the Nine Tails in Naruto. Nine Tails soul in Naruto and split the power to Mito. So yeah, the seal soon appeared on his stomach and the other two stomach as well, showing that the tail beast was now in the three kids. Naruto soon grew up with his family, in quotation mark, living a figure out. Naruto soon grew up with his family, living a regular life with loving parents, awesome siblings that he was very close with and proud of. That's what Naruto wished, and what the people outside the village thought. But in truth, Naruto lived in the second basement of the house of the Namakazes. The first basement is where the family put stuff like their weapons and other stuff that they would not need, including paper tags and scrolls. The second basement was the garbage. It was where they basically put everything they didn't want and just forgot about them, just like they did with Naruto. But even though the whole family forgot about Naruto in the village, had beaten him basically and shunned him whenever he would go out of the village. Naruto remembered the family that was supposed to love him and make him feel safe. Basically, Naruto knew that would not happen, but and to be completely honest, the current 13-year-old Naruto did not really care, nor want their love, as all he needed was in front of his best friend, fucking hell. As Naruto didn't really care about his freaking Minato and all them that much, as he only really cared about Kurama right now, because that's like his best friend right now for like the whole 13 years they've been talking basically. But they met him since he was 5, as he was about to die from a beating, but the fox basically saved him. After meeting and becoming friends with the fox, Naruto continued to read all he could from the books and scrolls that he would find in the first basement. Naruto then started to do some light training, mostly trying to master in weird weapon and manipulate the earth to his will. He tried to find new creative ways to use it, and he would successfully do so, but he also did some light physical training, but that was just to keep him that was kept to a minimum, and he was mostly work on stamina and so he could last long in a fight with his abilities. Last, uh, which uses quite a bit of stamina and stuff like that because it is speed draining before that. But Naruto did have a well developed body enough to see that he had abs and stuff like that basically, but none of them looked extra or anything, just enough to be revealed that he had a good physique. So yeah. But it was quite hard as he had almost nothing to eat. Most of the time he had to go to the garbage and steal food, but what the people didn't know was that Kuma had been constantly circulating his chakra in Naruto's body, and he had slowly regained some of his powers over the years, making him not really get used to, making him get more used to his chakra, but like making him not really get used to his own like human chakra, but instead of monsters energy, like a demons type shit, like more wild energy and stuff like that in general, but also fed him and developed him and basically help him survive. But it was temporary solution, not permanent. Naruto had developed something that was never seen before. It was a side effect of being a male Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. This doesn't affect the female because they lose basically blood in the period and whatnot. But Naruto doesn't have that, so the overwhelming power was too much for him. So he tried to make like basically too much for him. So this tried to make basically more fluids in his body, and in the process made him have more blood. But this would basically overflow his body. So he had tried to get rid of it, but like in the being basically like when he got beat up and stuff like that, even though he lost a lot of blood, it basically put him at a regular amount of blood because of he had too much blood in him basically. So yeah, if he doesn't really lose blood and stuff like that, basically he would get put in like a coma type shit, and he would basically stay there for a while until the blood either goes away or he could get fatally injured type shit because of too much blood. So yeah, Naruto had been keeping a diary of his life in a small notebook, and he left it on a small broken desk and went up to meet his ungrateful family that had hadn't seen he hadn't seen face to face in years, ever since they forced him to live in the second dungeon. Yeah, basement or whatever. Miyato, Kushina, Menma, and Mito stood in the doorway looking at the staircase that led to the second dungeon. As they heard footsteps slowly coming up, Menma and Mito had been quite spoiled from birth, getting all they ever wanted, with Menma getting into a relationship with the spoiled Hinata Hyuga. Mito was still single, even though many men and women tried to get in a relationship with her, but in the end, she had turned them down. As the footsteps get closer, Kushina and Mito started to think to the last time they had a good family time with their first son. The last time they sat down and had a talk. The last time Naruto came from the Ninja Academy and stood and told them that he had done great at school. The last time he had came from school or anywhere in like their mind, like from anywhere, like even from like a store or some shit like that. And or the last time he came and made and told them about like a friend he made, the last time they saw him smile, the last time they saw him laugh, the last time they saw him at all. Never. They couldn't think of even once. As the tears was about to come from Krishna's eyes, she saw something that made her freeze. The group watched as someone who looked like he was at least 16 years old, with black hair, uncaring black eyes, quite a well-built body, seeing his unknown person, Mito unconsciously slightly blushed, but not enough for anyone to see, not that anyone was looking at her to begin with. Naruto stopped as he just stared at the same uncaring eyes as he kept Oh fuck yeah. Naruto stood at the doorway type shit as he stared at them with uncaring eyes, as he kept a straight face as well. Naruto, Minato said in a quiet and unsure voice, as if he was not really sure if it was Naruto, as he and Kushina both started to realize that they had ignored the sun, and as then Naruto was fucking hell. As Minato and Kushina started to realize that they had ignored the sun, as to them, Naruto was still a baby in a blanket. However, this was like from years ago. Like they didn't even realize that Naruto was like older now. Yes, are you ready to go to the labyrinth? Minato said, with a slight stutter. Yes. Why? Why is Oni-chan being so cold? Mito thought to herself, confused. Okay then. We are leaving in 1 week, so until then you can relax. Naruto simply stood, nodded, and started to make his way outside, not saying anything. Wait, Naruto, will you come for dinner later on? Minato said, trying to give Kushina a chance to talk to Naruto. Okay, Naruto said before he disappeared and walked away. Time skip. Kushina had cried a few hours with Minato comforting her, and then realizing Minato comforting her, but then they restrained themselves before they went to do what they needed to do. Meanwhile, Naruto had gone and registered himself as the new ninja of Konoha and did a solo demon mission. Coming back, Naruto went to see the whole family sitting at a table, including Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Kakashi. There was an empty chair for him as he went to sit down with his family. Quotation mark. That's basically what the story ended, like the fanfic part, whatever. But I'm not gonna actually end the story there because I'm gonna continue it, like I said. So I'm gonna, from now on, this is like non-scripted part basically. So if I mess up here or there, that's basically why. So yeah, as Naruto sat down with his family or whatever, he basically looked at them uncaringly, not really seeming to be that interested in them, which confused the whole table and made Kushina quite sad. As they started to eat after Kushina passed out the food basically to everybody, as Naruto simply ate in silence, not really saying anything to anyone of the family. As he quickly finished the food and got up to make his way downstairs, Kushina suddenly asked Naruto why was he going down to the basement. As Naruto simply looked at her kind of confused, as she said, why are you going down in the basement? Why aren't you going to your room instead? As Naruto looked at her with now a bit of anger, as he said, I don't have a room in this house. As he started to continue to walk. As Mito got up, basically like pushing his chair back and getting up, and basically walked over to Naruto, saying, why are you being so cold to Tucson or whatever? Like, to basically, why are you being so close to mom or whatever, and stuff like that. As Naruto simply looked at her, as he did not even answer. As he went to turn around to go down the stairs, with her basically going and stopping now to slap Naruto. However, Naruto blocked the slap and basically pushed her away, as he simply started to walk away again. As with this whole time, Menma basically was at the table, gritting his teeth, seeing how this brat was taking away all their attention and thinking that Naruto was just being spoiled and and not appreciating all the attention and stuff like that I was getting. As yeah, this made the whole family kind of stay quiet after Naruto left, with Jiraiya afterwards going to talk to Kushina and Minato in silence, basically saying he basically said that oh, it's okay, he'll come around eventually, that it was like for the prophecy. He understand after you explain, which then brought they made the family whatever brighten up a little bit, saying how yes he'll understand after. Oh, we'll tell him about the prophecy after he comes out of the labyrinth, after they're done conquering the labyrinth. As they start to cheer up, as we have a time skip to when the labyrinth gets they do when they go into a labyrinth, like after a week. As basically what happened is like the reason why they're going there is because over the years people have scoured the place and thought of it as like a training place for people to train very well and gain potential rewards. So they wanted to send the Charge of Prophecy there, with them wanting to include Naruto as well, because they kind of wanted to like. At first, they wanted to get rid of him. Now they kind of just want to include him to potentially get him back. So yeah, as they sent Naruto in there with Mema and Mito. As if you're wondering what the labyrinth entrance looks like, it's basically this right here, but like it's basically behind the Hokage mountain. So yeah, and those little houses are like storages area where people can evacuate to and stuff like that. So yes. Gosh. As basically they would both all three of them would walk in, followed with Jiraiya, Minma, not Jiraiya, Jiraiya, Minato, Kushina, Mito, not Mito, Kushina, Minato, Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Kakashi, Guy, like all these important people, basically going to the labyrinth as well, just to send them off basically. So with what's it called? Kakashi actually going there inside of the labyrinth with them, with of about a few ambush as well. So yeah, like 5 or 10 ambush, and Kakashi, Mema, Mito, and Naruto. So yeah, as then the rest of the people would basically stay outside, like letting them in, like setting them off basically. So yeah, as we have a time skip to when they get to around floor 15, as they would be in a room with a lot of like crystals and stuff all around, as they would start to collect that stuff to make like weapons and stuff like that. But there would be a massive crystal that was supposed to be like very valuable and stuff like that, and was just very shining in general. As Memma would see it and quickly run over to it, seeing how this looks cool and he wants it for himself. As he would quickly jump and hit, like basically try to grab it. However, he quickly found his hand stuck on the crystal, as it would start to glow, as it was revealed to be a trap. As this would teleport them to floor 65. Wait, is it floor? Yeah, floor 65 ish. Wait. Hold up. No, it's not 465. It's 445. My bad. On that area, 35, 45, somewhere around there, where they would be teleported on a bridge, where there would be a bunch of little monsters on the ground, like skeletons and stuff, and behind all of it was a giant Minotaur type shit. Like it was a giant bowl, like a giant fucking hell. Yeah, it was basically a giant bowl, Minotaur type shit. But like it was like on the way that they need to go back to the surface. So yeah, and as they try to go back to the surface and go like and escape, basically, they would make it to the other side. However, as they're about to go fully, Mito Mito would step and like basically fall down. However, Naruto would actually decide to go and push, like basically push her away again, basically throwing her to the side of the people that were like the leaf people, basically, as he decided to basically use his powers to make a wall, because he can use transmutation thing like hajime can in the anime or whatever, as he would make the stone wall, as the ball however would simply break it like fairly quickly, as then all the ninjas and stuff like that, like Kakashi and all them, would use a bunch of wind jutsus to basically try to blast the ball back, like push it back, so Naruto can come and run back to them and whatever, so you can escape. However, Menma still having a big grudge from yesterday's, not the yesterday's, the last week's actions of him seeing Naruto as like ungrateful and whatnot. And the reason why Naruto saved Mito is because in the week Mito had tried to like give Naruto a lot of attention and whatnot, be nice to him. So he was like, sure, why not? So because he didn't really, yeah. As as now as Menma would grit his teeth as he used a uh wind blast, basically wind style wind gale palm, as he would basically blast a giant ball of wind. However, as it was about to hit the ball, it would basically turn direction and change try fucking hell. It basically turned the directions and basically blast at Naruto, as then the ball would basically fall down and destroy the whole bridge, making Naruto fall into the abyss, the bottom of the abyss, all the way down to level 80. What is it? 80? Hold up. Yeah, level 80. So, yeah. Anyhow, as Naruto would fall all the way down to level 80, dropping down, he would land next to the water, like the cave, whatever, as, yeah, next to the cave, I mean, yeah. As then there would be like that little bunny and then the wolves, whatever, as the bear would come and eat Naruto's arm off, as completely it would be his right arm, as this would happen. Naruto would scream out, obviously, as he would try to run away, using his ability to switch, like to basically move the earth that was in front of him and put it behind him as like a wall, to basically enter into the labyrinth, like walls or whatever, and go through it, and where he would see a water thing, as he would drink the water and whatnot, as then he would wake up again after passing out from bloodlust, to basically then he would dig a hole where he would lure some wolves there, as he would basically set a trap for them and kill them, eat the wolf's flesh itself, like the monster meat, as this would cause him to start to evolve into a monster himself. As however, in this one, instead of him passing out like Hajime did and stuff, he would scream out in pain, as it would still be very painful, but he wouldn't actually pass out. Like, it wouldn't require him to basically drink that water that he did in canon. As you see, as due to Kuma being him in general, with also him being used to the Kuma's chakra over the years, would get him kind of used to this feeling a little bit. Though it was a way different feeling, but it was still had similarities, as this would cause Naruto to evolve into a demon. So yeah, as Naruto would still, however, still drink the thing to get rid of the pain, but it wasn't necessary. He wouldn't have died from it. So yeah, and he did evolve into a much stronger one than kind of hajime because he's like more used to it, so it did more effect, I guess. So yeah, as he then went on to beat the bear, not the bear, the bunny, gain the air steps or whatever, and the beat of quite a few of them monsters, and then afterwards he would then proceed to craft the gun and the little pistols basically, and then he would go and basically get ready to fight the bear, which he would do and beat him way easier because he still has some jutsus. Like he still can use his five elemental natures, which also when he ate the bear's flesh, he awakened something quite unexpected. He ended up awakening the Rinnegan as after he fully evolved because the bear made him like evolve again, but like the wolves and stuff made him like evolve like almost there, and then the bear fully evolved into a full demon type shit. So like, it's not really a full demon because he still has technically a human-ish areas in him, but deep down he's now a demon basically. So yeah, he evolved and gained also the Rinnegan because he's like godly and shit like that, whatever, like a demon god type shit. So yeah, as this is actually what I'll be leaving off. Hope you guys, well actually no, never mind. Sorry, my bad. Basically, after he evolved, gained the Rinnegan, he simply cleared the 5 levels fairly easily with the help of the Rinnegan, which he kind of mastered, but not really. Like he can use most of the abilities fairly well, but mainly because he has like stupid amount of chakra and shit, but not because he has full control over them. So yeah, as he would simply clear the 5 levels to then walk up to this other level to see basically a giant gate with two monsters that was protecting them, but the monsters were sleeping kind of. They were stuck in the wall, but you could clearly see their outlines. As Naruto would then see the two little ball things on the wall, the gate, as he would understand that he needed to beat the monsters to open the door. As this is what I'm gonna be leaving off after Naruto makes up his mind to basically fight them. This is what I'm gonna be leaving off. If you guys liked and enjoyed, let me know what you guys thought about this, and if you want me to continue this series or not, I will. But yeah, just let me know overall what you think about it, and let me know if you guys, how many of you guys are looking forward to seeing the next part of this and the new series of what if Naruto was ain't reincarnation but cursed by God, as this by God, but not a God, just God himself. But yeah, anyways, as this is what I'm gonna be leaving off. Hope you guys liked it, and for following you, I hope you guys have a good day, good night, and I'm out for now. Peace.